Night. For many of you, it's a time for peaceful sleep, but for me, it means darkness and endless struggle. My name is Jake, and I'm an insomniac. Welcome to I Told My Story YouTube channel. Insomnia is a condition where a person's sleep is insufficient. They can't sleep or they have difficulty falling back asleep after waking up. Every time I close my eyes, hundreds of thoughts echo in my mind. Falling asleep just isn't possible. Did you know? People spend 1/3 of their lives sleeping. But I will never experience that third. I may sleep for 1 to 2 hours a day, or sometimes not at all. At night, in the silence brought by sleeplessness, my thoughts often drifted to Emma. I remember the first time I saw her. When she stepped into the classroom with her long, wavy hair and deep gaze, the world stopped for a moment. But getting to know her, that always remained a dream. One day, just before class started, my mind was foggy again from the lack of sleep. As I was entering the classroom, I bumped into Emma, who was quickly exiting. "Watch it," she said with a slight anger. "I'm really truly sorry. I didn't get much sleep last night, so I'm a bit out of it. Please forgive me," I said. Emma paused for a moment when she saw the tired expression on my face. As her expression softened, "Actually, I got caught up on a series on Netflix last night and didn't sleep much either. That's why I didn't notice you. I'm sorry," she said with a regretful look. "Looks like we're both out of it this morning," I said with a smile. "Yeah, I guess it does," she replied and smiled at me. This small moment created a bond between the two of us. When our eyes met, a sincere smile appeared on our faces. At that moment, the tiredness from lack of sleep gave way to the beginning of a warm friendship. "Maybe one day we could have a coffee in a cafe and chat?" I asked, gathering my courage. "That would be great. Then we can meet on Sunday at 11 o'clock after my volleyball class." I was incredibly excited about this meeting plan. When the weekend came, I couldn't sleep because I was so excited. I played games on the computer all night long and then watched TV shows on Netflix. I only slept for maybe an hour or two in the morning when I felt my eyelids getting heavy. I woke up suddenly and looked at the clock in a panic. It was 9 a.m. Oh no, Emma and I were going to meet at 11 a.m. I jumped in the shower, put on my favorite clothes, and ran out of the house. When I got to the cafe, Emma hadn't arrived yet. I let out a sigh of relief and ordered myself an Americano. Hours passed, but Emma still hadn't arrived. I took out my phone and called Emma, but she didn't pick up. The shreds of hope in me started to fade away. At that moment, the waiter came up to me and said, "I think you're having a bad day." I briefly explained what had happened. "I was supposed to meet my friend here on Sunday, but he still hasn't shown up," I said with a sad expression. The waiter was suddenly surprised and said, "It's not Sunday. It's Monday." Surprised, I said, "No, it's Sunday," with an angry expression. The waiter took out his phone and showed me the screen. It said Monday. Suddenly I realized what had happened. I thought I had gone through Saturday without sleeping on Friday, but in fact, I had slept briefly on Friday and then spent Saturday and Sunday without sleeping at all. So Saturday and Sunday felt like one day to me. But when I found out it was Monday, my heart sank. I ran back home, not knowing what to do. I quickly put on my school clothes and rushed to the school to apologize to Emma. The bell rang when I arrived at school in a sweat and bloody mess. When I entered the classroom, I saw Emma sitting alone in her desk, and the guilt and sadness inside me grew even bigger. I couldn't tell her I had insomnia because I didn't think she would believe me. Taking a deep breath, I approached Emma, and the only thing I could see in front of my eyes was her disappointed look. "Emma, I'm so sorry. I really am. I got caught up in a show on Netflix on Saturday night and forgot to set my phone alarm, so I overslept on Sunday," I said. Emma looked at me angrily. "Jake, I waited for you, but you didn't show up. Are you kidding me? I never want to see you again." These words shattered my heart. I didn't know what to do to see trust and warmth in Emma's eyes again. With 1,001 thoughts in my head, I felt like I had lost Emma. Disappointed, I went to my desk and sat quietly. I was walking home after school absent-mindedly, exhausted from not having slept at all on Saturday and Sunday because of the excitement. Suddenly, my steps slowed down and my eyes started to close. I was trying to pull myself together, but suddenly my eyes closed. When I opened my eyes, I was laying on the ground. I stood up in surprise and started to walk towards the house when a man jumped out of the garbage can next to me. "Hey, you!" I looked at him in fear. He looked like a homeless man. His hair was dreadlocks and he was wearing a black leather jacket. In fear, I could only say, "Yes, sir?" The man turned to me and asked, "You can't sleep at night either, can you?" I stammered, "How did you know that?" "Never mind about that now. Would you like to join the Insomnia Club?" "The Insomnia Club?" I said, astonished. "Yes," he said. "The first rule of Insomnia Club, don't tell anyone about the club. The second and last rule, you have to fulfill the assigned tasks." I thought, I think you're making fun of me. But how did he know I was insomniac? "Young man, I don't have much time. What's your answer?" he said angrily. I had nothing to lose. I thought maybe I could meet someone there who suffers from insomnia like me, so I said yes. The man looked into my eyes and smiled. "But remember, you have to follow the rules," he said. In the darkness of the night, the man took me to his secret shelter. We crossed streets, followed narrow, dark alleys, and finally came to a door that was almost unnoticeable. When we opened the door and went inside, I was dumbfounded. The bunker was modern and tidy, and there were many people inside. Many of them, like me, were looking around with tired eyes. The man turned to me and said, "I am Ethan, the leader of the Insomnia Club." Puzzled, I asked, "And what is the purpose of the Insomnia Club?" Ethan looked at me with a stern expression. "We are the night watchmen," he said. "Whoever is in trouble at night, whoever needs us, we are there for them." Puzzled, I asked, "What, like Batman?" "Yes," Ethan said with a slight smile on his face. "Jake, everyone here is just like you. We struggle with the challenges of lack of sleep. But we also use it to our advantage. We use it to keep our eyes open during the night and reach out to those who need our help." Those words lit a spark in me. Maybe together with people like me, I could make my sleepless nights more meaningful, but I still had many questions. "So how do you help? What kind of missions do you do?" "We have different tasks every night. Sometimes we guide someone who is lost. Sometimes we help people who have to work in the middle of the night. Sometimes we give food to stray animals." This explanation touched me. Knowing that I was not alone in the silence of the night made me feel warm inside, but something was still missing. "So what can I do?" I asked. "How can someone like me help?" "A sleep-deprived person like you can do a lot of things during the night." I nodded, ready to step into this new world and find out what I needed to do. "Now, are you ready for your first mission?" "Yes, I am," I said excitedly. "Then come, I will show you what to do," Ethan said. Ethan took me to a trash can on the street. "Come on, get in," he said. I looked at him with puzzled eyes. "What? I'm going to go in the garbage?" I asked sarcastically. Ethan looked at me with a stern expression and said, "Rule 2 of the Insomnia Club. You have to fulfill the tasks we give you." "Okay," I said and went into the garbage, and Ethan came in after me. "This is your assignment for tonight. You will observe the surroundings, and if you see someone in need, you will help them," he said. I nodded my head yes, feeling excited. My first assignment would be a chance to learn what I was really going to do. For an hour, I watched people coming and going through the ajar lid of the trash can. Everyone seemed calm, until suddenly I heard a voice. "Help! Help! There's a thief!" A voice echoed. Ethan looked at me and said, "Come on, your first mission has arrived. Run quickly and help the person who needs help," he said. Scared, I got out of the trash can and started running in the direction of the voice. I was surprised when I came to the person who asked for help. It was Emma. "Emma, what are you doing at this hour?" Emma looked at me with teary eyes and said, "Please help me. Someone stole my bag. It has everything in it. Please, please help me." She started crying. "You wait here," I said, and started to run. After a long chase, I cornered the thief in a dead-end street. The thief panicked when he realized he had nowhere to run. I walked towards him, panting but determined. "Give the bag back," I said in a stern voice. Desperate, the thief put the bag down and ran away. I picked up the bag and turned around, ran back to Emma, and handed it to her. "Here, your bag," I said. Emma hugged me with tears in her eyes. "Thank you, Jake. I was really scared." I tried to control my emotions and said, "It's okay, Emma. As long as you're safe, I'm fine." After Emma hugged me, she suddenly realized that someone was coming up behind me. "Jake, look out behind you," she said, and when I turned around, the thief gave me a powerful punch. I blacked out and fell to the ground. Everything was dark. I could only hear Emma's voice. Jake, please wake up," she was saying. I opened my eyes and saw Emma in her school clothes. Emma turned to me and said with a sad expression, "Are you okay, Jake? I was on my way home from school and I was so scared to see you passed out on the floor like that." I looked around and then at myself. I was in school clothes too. I realized what had just happened. I was so tired from not sleeping for 2 days. I had passed out after school and dreamt about that man in the Insomnia club. I turned to Emma and said, "Don't worry, Emma. I just got dizzy and fell on the floor. I must have lost a lot of sleep," I said. Emma took a deep breath and wiped her tears. "I was so scared seeing you like that. Please take care of yourself again," she said and smiled back at me. I smiled back at her and asked, "So, shall we have a coffee this Saturday?" Emma smiled at me and nodded. "Sure, I'd love to." I guess my insomnia had worked this time. Emma and I started walking together, as if the whole world revolved around us. I felt a warmth inside me. I never wanted that moment to end.